So depression is a defended idea. You're not allowed to even talk about it. You're not allowed to help people get out of it. I say if you're an 18-year-old boy or 18-year-old man and your life is pretty much okay and you wake up and you say, I'm depressed, I think you're an idiot. I don't think you're depressed. I think you've been psyoped. I think you feel a little bit of depression and you can fix that by changing your life. I think if you became rich and strong and smart and successful and you worked hard and you dedicated yourself and you were motivated and you tried your very, very best to become excellent, you probably wouldn't feel depressed anymore.
So following up in our little series here, reacting to the Tucker Carlson interview with Andrew Tate. Again, phenomenal interview. A lot of insight here. And legitimately, I do like to see Andrew in this setting a lot more than the Aiden Ross stuff. Because although it is funny to see him talk to internet clowns, you sit him down with someone else who's actually intellectual and as smart as he is, intelligent. I actually really do enjoy this interview and really do enjoy him in this setting a whole lot more. But anyways, reason I'm doing this video is I was skimming through this stuff, and this is probably one of the most important messages that is out there on the internet, having to, especially for young people, having to do with stuff like mental health and depression, because we are so often told by the system, by, you know, a lot of things connected to big pharma and all of that stuff, no, you got to be depressed, and then men got to talk about their feelings, and here, take these SSRIs, and it is killing our generation, especially this generation of men. And Andrew Tate has one of the most controversial, yet in my opinion correct, I agree with him 100% here, takes on depression, and he's going to explain it with Tucker Carlson here, and check it out.
You've said depression isn't real, or it's not, as the way we describe depression isn't accurate. What do you think of depression?
When I say depression isn't real, that really upset the world, especially the liberals, because they all live on medication, right? When I say depression isn't real, I'm saying that because I don't believe in things that can take away power from me. If I believed in depression, I would have been depressed in jail. But I can't be depressed if I don't believe in it. If you don't believe in ghosts, how can you be haunted? You have two people in a haunted house. One believes in ghosts, one doesn't. There's a knock in the night. One wakes up, calls an exorcist, is terrified, looks for a ghost. The other guy doesn't believe in ghosts. Knock in the night, goes back to sleep. It's the belief in the ghost that gives it the power. If I don't believe in depression, I believe in feeling depressed. Sure, we're humans, we have emotions. Sometimes we feel depressed, sometimes we feel happy. I don't believe in the idea of becoming a depressed person who has depression.
Clinical depression.
I don't believe in that. I don't think that's possible for me. So if I don't believe in it, how can it happen? I don't believe in depression. So why would I not adopt the mindset that makes me the most capable predator I can possibly be? Why not adopt the mindset that makes me as competent and as fearsome as possible? If you have to install software in your own mind, why would I not install software that makes me capable of not only driving a Bugatti and flying on private jets, but sitting in a Romanian dungeon covered in cockroaches? I need to be able to do all of it. So why would I believe in something that made me incapable? I don't believe in depression because I think that even the belief in and of itself, when you feel depressed, you'll start to consider, maybe I have depression. Then you go see a psychiatrist who tells you have depression. Then they want you on pills. It's the belief that goes down the spiral. If I feel sad, I go, I'm depressed today, I'll be fine tomorrow.
So you may listen to that take. There's a part 2 to this. Don't worry. He'll actually explain what he means and say, well, what the heck, you know, that's a little bit out there. But what I will say, I mean, I'm going to talk about the clinical side of this and why the way we treat it and approach it and all that stuff is wrong. But on a very basic level, he actually does have a point that self-belief is very important, right? Do you ever notice among old people, or there's sort of this feeling that once they lose their will to live, they just kind of, you know, goes, but if they always have their will to live, they'll overcome anything, you know? I genuinely believe self-belief actually is important, and self-determination and all of that stuff, and that can 100% impact your mental state. But we're about to now get into the argument of whether or not depression is this uncontrollable disease that you just randomly catch, your brain hormones stop working, or is it something more situational that you can't actually control? And my argument on depression is that it is situational. Yes, your hormones are in balance, but your body releases hormones naturally. There's something about your lifestyle, in my opinion, that is causing your hormones to be in balance. But anyways, we'll get into this. Check it out.
So why, I suspect you're right, or what you're saying is pointing toward truth. That's my personal view. But even if I disagreed with you, I disagree with you. Why is that so offensive, what you just said?
Well, that's what.
Because it threatens big pharma, number one, the SSRIs, and also it just threatens the bigger system, right? Because the idea of men, not caring about their feelings and actually being stoic, which is what men should do. Hey, this sucks. I'm in a bad situation, but it's my duty as a man to do my masculine duties and just go on. That's what men have always had to do. That's very threatening to the current order, obviously, right? Obviously. But anyways.
It's interesting because when I said depression wasn't real, the number of people who would attack me defending depression, this is what I didn't understand. Right. You say depression isn't real, but depression's ruined my life and it's super real and it ruined my life and I lost my marriage. I'm like, if I told you it wasn't real, you should be coming to me saying, tell me how it's not real. Please help me with my depression. Why are you trying to convince me that it's real? Why are you sticking up for it?
And why are you defending depression?
And why would I adopt the thinking of someone who's sad? Why would you're going to convince me to take your worldview. You just told me your wife left you, you're fat, and you want to kill yourself. And you want me to sit here and go, with my perfect life, and go, you know what? I want to think like this guy. You're out your mind. I don't believe in it. And because I don't believe in it, it's made me the kind of person who can't become depressed. And the reason they don't like me attacking that is because depression is a fantastic way to subdue a population.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
If everybody's depressed, it's hard to have a revolution. You're depressed. Oh, they've locked us all in our houses. I don't want to go outside anyway. I'm sad. Right? So depression's a fantastic tool of population control. They have no problem with you being depressed. They have a problem with you being the opposite, principled and energetic. No, you don't want principled, energetic people. That's a problem. A bunch of depressed people, easy. If you had to invade a country, would you rather the opposing army be principled and energetic or depressed?
I'll tell you, I would not want to be invaded by a cheerful army.
Absolutely.
That's scary.
They're having too much fun, right? You want them all to be depressed. So
a morose army is easier to defeat. I agree.
Absolutely. So depression is a defended idea. You're not allowed to even talk about it. You're not allowed to help people get out of it, right?
Yeah.
They like the idea of a depressed population.
If you don't do it through big pharma,
what I say to people. Now, I'm not stupid. I understand like PTSD is real. I understand mental health is real. I'm not saying that, but I say if you're an 18-year-old boy or 18-year-old man and your life is pretty much okay, bacteria didn't steal your eyesight, which could have happened. You never had a car crash and lost both of your legs, which could have happened. You're actually very fortunate. And you wake up and you say, I'm depressed. I think you're an idiot. I don't think you're depressed. I think you've been psyoped.
Yeah.
I think you feel a little bit of depression, and you can fix that by changing your life.
Correct.
I think if
exactly.
you became rich and strong and smart and successful, and you worked hard, and you dedicated yourself, and you were motivated, and you tried your very, very best to become excellent, you probably wouldn't feel depressed anymore, which means it's not a disease, is it? So why would you, the only reason you're even saying you have depression is because you believe in it.
So you're arguing for cause and effect. You're saying if you live a certain way, you're going to feel a certain way.
Absolutely. And I also would argue that. So
let's talk about that, okay? The counter argument people will come to on depression is say, well, no, but, it's clinical disease because you have a hormonal imbalance in your brain. And to that, I say, you don't think I know that? Of course, your hormones in your brain are imbalanced. My big thing on that, yes, that does cause depression. There's a hormonal imbalance. You're not getting enough endorphins, all the, stuff that makes you happy. My argument, most of the time, is that there's a reason for that, right? Look at the lifestyle of your average depressed person. I think there's three levels. There's a physical level, an emotional level, and a spiritual level, okay? Let's just start with emotional. Your mindset's probably not right. If you're controlled by your emotions, whatever, we understand that mindset, okay. But if you say, oh, mindset, I can't control that, fine. Okay, physically. How many depressed people out there, they live a very sedentary lifestyle. Are they getting a lot of sunlight? Well, vitamin D is a necessary component in sunlight. Like, that's necessary to control your natural hormones. If you live in squalor and the darkness all the time, let's be realistic. A lot of younger, depressed, quote unquote people, they don't go outside a whole lot. They're not very active. They don't live very active lifestyles. And then they turn around and say, why are the hormones in my brain screwed up? Why are my bodily hormones screwed up? Surely I must need SSRIs. You don't need SSRIs. You need sunlight. And then furthermore, right, the active aspect, are you working out? Are you hitting the gym? How many people who legitimately do this, first of all, like how many people who just work out and are active on a regular basis are legitimately depressed? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's very rare because guess what? Working out controls the hormones in your brain and body, right? Because it releases what? Endorphins. Literally, working out hormonally makes you feel better about yourself, right? It releases hormones that make you happier. How many depressed people, A, are active, and B, work out on a regular basis? It's not In most cases, it's not. But then they come to me and say, no, you don't understand depression. It's the hormones in my brain. It is the hormones in your brain. Why are the hormones in your brain screwed up? The physical reason. I think that's very important. And then I would argue the third layer to this, as a religious person, as a Christian, is I think there's a spiritual aspect, right? There's something about the soul. If you're not living your life for a reason, if you're not living your life with purpose on the inside, you don't have a life struggle. You don't have some type of crusade in your life that you want to fight, especially for men. Because honestly, I can't really speak for females. I think they have different brains than us. But specifically for men, we are warriors, right? It's Apollo Creed, Rocky IV. What does he say? When the warrior has no war to fight, then, we might as well be dead, right? Exactly. It's true. If we do not have a moral purpose, particularly as men, saying we want to do this, we want to conquer this goal or this objective in our life, then of course we are going to feel depressed because we are, philosophically and spiritually going to feel empty on the inside. So that's my whole thing on depression. So much of our generation says, I'm depressed. And three of these things, they don't have an order. I will say that for a very, very small minority of people with stuff like dissociative personality disorder that they're actually born with, where they literally just don't have the hormonal glands that keep their hormones in balance, and they legitimately from day one of their birth have been born with a hormonal imbalance, then to that I say, okay, maybe fine. Then maybe we can entertain that there's such a thing as clinical depression, right? But in so many different cases, people will run into bad circumstances in their life. They'll start living like slobs. That's usually how it happens. Or, whatever. They don't really have a lot going on. They're not doing a lot. And then they'll turn around and say, well, I'm clinically depressed. You're not clinically depressed in the sense that you have this uncontrollable brain hormonal disease. No, something bad has happened in your life, and you sometimes, or just overall, you're not living a very good lifestyle, and you need to change that lifestyle. You are not a victim, right? You need to be the victor. You can overcome this, right? That's Andrew Tate's fundamental message on depression, right? People say, oh, he's attacking people. No, do you understand? Especially men, he's trying to get them to stand up. He's trying to encourage you. This is not some uncontrollable disease that you can't overcome. You can overcome this. Get your life together, get your crap together, and stop being depressed, right? And here's the thing too, even if that's not true, which I think is very true, but even if that's not true and depression is some incurable, terrible illness, what did I say again about self-belief? Self-belief in itself is still powerful, right? It is still good to have the mindset that I am in control of the situation and I can be the victor, even if that is not true. Even if that's not the case, it's still a good thing to do. You understand what I'm saying? In warfare, for instance, you're in the trench, you're getting shelled, it's over, right? And maybe, in the end, you would have died. But what is the best case in that situation? Is it to have self-belief that I'm going to get out and let me think logically? Or is it the person who just sits there and cries, we're all going to die, we're all going to die? That person is useless in combat, right? And yeah, maybe there's a 99% chance that you do. But in the 1% chance that you can get out, hypothetically, of the foxhole of warfare or depression, it is much better to have the self-belief you can overcome it and you are in control than that you are not. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. So I think Andrew Tate's absolutely right about depression. And like I said, I think it's one of the most important messages that so many young men specifically out there need to hear, because I think, a lot of young men genuinely do suffer from that hormonal imbalance. But like I'm saying, it's not because they need SSRIs or big pharma solutions or even therapy. They need to get their act together. They need to fix their life. The big pharmaceutical companies say, you don't need to fix your life. It's not your fault. Take these medications. Terrible. Not the move. Very important. Underratedly important, because I think a lot of men in our generation, we don't have meaning. We don't have purpose. We quote unquote are depressed in the sense I talked about. And it's part of the reason that the system is so easily able to control the fighting age men is for that very reason, because, we're all quote unquote depressed in a certain sense. So, all right, folks, there's my reaction to the depression take. Again, go check out the full interview. We should be streaming the full thing later tonight. But yeah, until then, Alpha Moves only. God bless. Everyone have a very good night and peace. Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. God bless.